All right, so we have to talk about the news that Villarreal Barcelona might be taking place in Miami in December, and this has caused quite a firestorm online. I think there are two sides to this coin. Some people are in favor of this move, and they think that it's actually good for the teams involved, good for La Liga. The other half of people think that the game's gone, the soul has been destroyed, and that football is just going deeper and deeper into the abyss. As a La Liga podcast, we absolutely have to talk about this topic, and that's what we're going to do here today. You guys let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. Just for a little extra background info, for some people who might not know, this is not the first time that this has almost happened, and it's not confirmed still. This has to be approved by UEFA, it has to be approved by FIFA, and it has to be approved by CONCACAF and another institutional body in North America. I don't know if it's US Soccer or whoever, but 4 other organizations have to approve this move before it actually happens. In 2018, Barcelona almost played Girona in a similar type thing that never really grew any legs, didn't get off the ground. The next project, Atletico, I believe, was going to play Barcelona again. I think it's been Barcelona every single time. And now again, we have basically the third part of the trilogy, Villarreal, Barcelona, and Tebas, the president, is hell-bent on getting at least some La Liga games abroad to the United States, really trying to capture that American market. Jose, you're the Barcelona fan. How do you feel about this when you saw the news? You happy, ecstatic,
Yeah, it's
depressed?
crazy. Before I give my take on it, I saw some of the big for those who are based here in the States watching, I saw some of the bigger American accounts or MLS accounts try to poll their audiences here in America about how they feel, right? Is this good? Is this bad? Is it good for MLS or an American soccer? Is it bad? And I answered those a couple different polls with the same response was put the leagues aside. This is terrible for the sport. Terrible. And I think that when you think there's a couple different ways to look at it. One is I think we have to take the empathy route. I know we live in America, the most capitalist fucking nation in the world. I get it. There's a great opportunity here to capture this fan base in a World Cup year when everybody from around the world will be here next summer. I understand that to an extent. I still don't think it means that we have to be okay with ripping away one of the biggest games on the calendar at Villarreal. Keep in mind, this is a community that's a population of 50,000. What is that comparable to in the US, right? It's tiny at the end of the day. And I guarantee you, this is a game that they mark on their calendars every fucking year. Every year,
Yes.
the Yellow Submarine is gearing up for this. It's one of the biggest games. And you're going to sit there and tell your season ticket holders, hey, we're taking it off. We're now going to turn this away match for Barcelona into a home match for them in Miami because that's what it will be. It will not be the Yellow Submarine out there. They may have some extreme diehards that make the journey, but let's be real, right? At the end of the day, it's going to be Messi fans, Barca fans who live in Miami. They're going to fill up, pay whatever exorbitant amount for that ticket, fill up that stadium and see a competitive Barca game here in the States. And from that perspective, sure. I guess if you don't have empathy, it's like, okay, I don't care what anybody else experiences. I'm going to focus on me, and it's here in Miami. I want to be there. Sure, fine. I understand that the Club World Cup and its brand new format came to the States, and we all saw how cool it can be. But at the same time, there were problems and issues with that too that I have as somewhat of a. I'm not gonna say I'm a football purist, but I feel as though there's something this game gives to its fan bases in their respective regions that we'll never understand on this side of the world. And I think you're selling yourself short as an American fan if you're choosing to have your first experience, your first La Liga experience here in Miami versus traveling abroad to go experience the culture, what it means to the people who live
Correct.
there. Bro, all of this is a massive part of the game, and we're just choosing to bypass all of it. It's insanity to me.
It's entitlement and selfishness is what it is. That's a great point. I mean, if you want to go to a La Liga game, what better place to do it than in Spain, baby, where it's always been? It's like instead of going to Japan, you want to have I don't know, some sort of Japanese cultural experience transported to Houston, Texas, and then you go to that instead. And look, I get some people don't have the money to fly to Japan. Some people don't have the money to fly to La Liga, to fly to Spain and go to see a La Liga game. But you don't have the right to complain about that because culturally, it's not your thing. This is a Spanish institution. This is part of Spanish culture. This game belongs to the Villarreal community. So for you to be like, well, I didn't get to watch Barcelona and I live in Miami. Well, guess what, homie? That's not your thing. You have no claim to this game. You have no claim. You have no right. It is a privilege that you would be able to go in Spain as a foreigner and buy tickets to the game. So you can wish, like, yeah, I want to see Barcelona play. Well, save up, man.
Yeah.
Save up then.
Save
Go
your
over
fucking
there and do it
land.
the right way.
Bro, save your money.
Right.
It really isn't that hard. And I think the other aspect that I was mentioning before, I said there was kind of two ways to look at it. The other side is the sporting side, right? Imagine this scenario. I'm going to hop into Andre's, world. Pretend I'm a Madridista for a second. I almost threw up for a second.
Wow.
Imagine this, though. Imagine this.
Okay.
Barca wins the league by 3 points. And Florentino Perez looks at the 3 points that potentially were gained in a match that was supposed to be a hostile environment for Barca at the Yellow Submarine at La Ceramica, and now it became a home match, which made, for whatever reason, made things significantly easier. Who knows? You can make that argument. And now we're having this debate at the end of the season as to how impactful this random one-off, seemingly cash grab was positioned, right? When you think about how competitive La Liga really is. I don't know, man. It opens up a can of worms. I really think it does. And it opens up questions around how serious La Liga is if they're willing to put sporting integrity on the line. I don't know.
Also,
I think if it was Madrid doing this, I would have an even bigger problem.
How would you feel? Exactly. Yeah. So the other thing, too, is it sets a precedent, right? What's stopping Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga from doing this? And right now we're talking about one-off. But I could totally see this being like an NFL thing or MLB thing where it's like a whole series, right? Like, look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, don't they have like 2 or 3 games that are away from Jacksonville? Like, it's pretty much the same thing where like their fans are getting robbed. And, to your guys' points, like, this is not a VRL gain by any means. Like, this is not for them. It could be Barcelona versus insert whoever club, right? Like, if it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, and it's a Clásico, it's completely different. But whoever's playing that match, if it's one of the big 3 clubs, that's for them. So I think it's
that's the only time that makes sense. And sorry to cut you off, but the only way to make that fair is if you took both Clásicos and you put both of them in the States.
Correct.
But then all the fans in Madrid and Barcelona, you'd be like, no, we don't want to lose the Clásicos. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Bro, the stadiums would burn down. There's no fucking way that we're gonna be that fans over there are gonna be okay with us like the league doing this, bro. No. Yeah, it is. Entitlement. I didn't even think about that word, but that quite literally is, like what Jack said, the best word to use for this, because again, you're laying claim to something that does not belong to you, has never belonged to you, and frankly, most of us here in the States, outside of course, some of us here, especially out here on the show, most fans on this side of the world had just found out about clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, realized how big El Clásico is, or understood where La Liga sits in the fabric of European football. I don't know. It feels like, I don't know, bro. Part of me is like, if you're gonna do this shit, do it with the Prem, or some other league, I guess you could say. Like, if you want to have that, bring one of those like middling teams who want to establish more of a fan base here. Like Andre said, if it's not a big 3, a big 6 club, maybe it's, bro, I don't fucking know, Bournemouth and Brighton. Throw them out here and let's see what that game looks like, and that maybe feels like more of a sense as to how receptive this fan base is going to be to some of these players and these matches ahead of a World Cup. That to me is more understandable. But Villarreal and Barca is a big match every year. Every year Villarreal has something to say about it, and you're quite literally taking away a very strategic piece and a very big fixture on the calendar.
La Liga looks compromised, I would argue, as an institution, because we already have the Supercopa isn't even in Spain anymore. It's in Saudi Arabia. And Andre and I were joking about this too. Like, the teams that benefit from the Supercopa being in Saudi Arabia are going to be Barcelona, Atleti, and Real Madrid. It's mainly going to be Barca and Real Madrid. I would say that even Atletico probably doesn't get too much of a bonus from that. But like, from the Villarreal perspective, and I want to read this quote to you guys because I think it's very important. This is a quote from the Villarreal president. He said, quote, "Reaching the United States is an opportunity we must seize. We have to expand the brand of our football and of Villarreal. Many clubs agree on the need to internationalize. and to look for ways to generate more revenue so we can get closer to other leagues such as the Prem. So he's basically saying the argument here is eyeballs and money. That's why we need to do this. My thing is this really the best way to grow the Villarreal brand in America?
No.
Not at all.
Bro, there's so many things you can do. First off,
if
if he's serious about that, bro, go sign an American player. Go sign a Mexican player.
Exactly.
Get Weston McKinney in here, $25 million right now.
Yes, bro. If that's really what
right
you're
now.
about, like, bro, you could have been making bids for Johnny Cardoso whenever he was debating whether or not he wanted to go play for Atleti. Like, I think that, and granted, there's that.
Where's the Gio Reyna loan?
Bro, exactly.
Where's the Gio Reyna loan?
And not even just that, bro. If you want it to exposure to American fans, why are we not hearing anything about them playing preseason matches here? Why is there no exhibition tour here? Like, fine, there's plenty of ways to brand and create that awareness for these fans on this side of the world that doesn't involve compromising the fans you already have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how else to say
it. And the naivete of thinking, which, Jose, you said this, that the fans going to Villarreal Barcelona are going for you. Is lunacy to me. You really think that a third of the stadium is going to be Villarreal fans? You think you're going to convert some neutral into becoming maybe you do. Maybe you grow 20 American fans from this game. Is that worth the cost?
Yeah.
Of probably losing 4-0. You're fighting for a Champions League spot. Your club looks embarrassed in an official La Liga fixture. Is it worth getting those 20 American fans who might buy a Villarreal kit now?
Crazy, bro.
I don't think so.
Definitely
I think there's better ways to do this.
Yeah. I mean, again, that statement, though, is wild. It's actually wild. Like, I understand where they are. We all understand. We talked about it so much, whether it's on air or off, about how La Liga hasn't made, collectively, at an aggregate level, clubs outside of the big three have not made good decisions around business, around adding more brand awareness to the league, more brand awareness to the individual clubs. Like, there's so little money moving around. Like, it's difficult. I understand that. But if we're all on the same page, that needs to change. There's just different ways to go about it that, again, don't compromise the fans you already have. You don't have to poop on your own fan base to create new fans elsewhere. Like, you just don't have to do that. There's a playbook that other bigger leagues have already built out that you can follow and start to kind of work your way towards that point. It will require investment. Don't get me wrong. You do have to travel probably to parts of the world you haven't done so already. But if that's the aim and that's the goal, this should be easy. This should be an easy decision, right? It feels like this one should have been the most difficult decision in the world because you are taking something away from the fans that already exist. And I feel like they're not treating it that way. It's like, fuck it. It's in UEFA's hands now. If they approve it, it means it validates our decision originally, and we're good. We're not the responsible ones anymore.
Or we're not crazy for proposing it.
Yeah. Yes, that too. Again, the validation is almost like, hey, this is a good idea. Multiple people think so. Some people are going to be upset, but that's okay. We're going to do this. It's just, it doesn't sit right with me.
Real Madrid, I don't know if you guys saw the press release that came out earlier today about this, but Jack and I were talking about this off air, but basically it's the right message, wrong messenger type of thing where, of course they're saying like, oh, it's a money grab. It sets a precedent. And then my favorite line of this, which I couldn't not laugh, was they didn't consult with us or the rest of the La Liga teams to get approval. Like, why are Madrid saying that, dude? Like, we're the evil empire. What's going on here?
Like, hey, bro, it's kind of like I don't know. I think in a lot of ways, Perez just feels like he runs the league, and I think to an extent,
get his hand in everything. Dude.
Yeah. It's like, hey, guys, what the hell are we doing? I didn't put my stamp of approval on this.
Yeah.
I think Laporta's the same way too, right? Like, I think that you have those two giant presidents, and they're just like, that boss can say what he wants. We run this. But now it's like I do feel like that boss and the league are making decisions without them, and that's a scary precedent to set. I really believe that. I think the Barca and Madrid are kind of starting to feel like maybe Tebas is moving mad, right? Maybe he's making decisions now where it's like he's been criticized for so long. He's trying to find a way to maybe generate some revenue the league hasn't seen before so that he can find a way to retain his spot as the commissioner of the league, right? So I don't know, man. It's times are changing. I will say, though, if this goes through, this does not stop here. Does not stop here. This is a turning point in world football.
100%. It's literally what happened in the NFL, dude. When they were doing preseason games, and then they did the one regular season game, and now they do 8 across multiple countries. And the MLB did the opening series this past year, Dodgers Cubs in Japan.
Imagine Champions League games being played here. I think
I
I'd
know.
lose my mind. I don't even know what I would do.
Right.
I mean, I already hate that the Copa America was hosted in the United States.
Yeah. And
Like,
the
I
thing about
thought it
doing
was
it
kind of
again.
cool. Uh, Dude, it was the Centenario, and it was like, sure, whatever, I
Sometimes
get
fine.
it. And then it happened again, 3 editions later, back in the
Yeah.
States. We're not even in CONMEBOL. What are we doing?
Dude, they're
Oh, well,
already
Jack, we're an
apparently they're already
invitee.
talking about doing it again. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. So I guess this
I
is going to
mean,
be a regular
Yeah,
thing now.
we don't
yeah.
even
So
have
I
to go
guess
that far.
forget
Like, look at Leagues
screw
Cup
South America's Premier Championship actually happening in South
in
America.
South
Like,
America. Yeah. I mean, look at Leagues Cup,
and then
right?
Americans would be like, I want to see Messi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on and on about that, but yeah, I remember when somebody proposed, like, right before COVID, hey, why don't we do a combined, 18 teams from Liga MX and then the best 18 teams from the MLS, and let's just run it like a league. And I'm like, that's a super league. Like, what is happening? And fans obviously revolted. And now the Leagues Cup is here. Where is it played? In the US. Like,
Yeah.
not a single match played in Mexico.
Yeah.
The simping for the American fan is ridiculous to me. It's like, look, America, huge country, massive buying power. We're all Americans. We get it. Great country. But like, there's other markets that you can capture. There are other countries that have money. There's other ways to grow the sport. And I just think making everything happen in the United States, honestly, for the American consumer perspective, which is the least important of this entire discussion, it's overstimulating. You got the MLS on the Apple deal. You got Messi coming to the league. Here comes Son Heung-min. You got the Leagues Cup now. Club World Cup is happening. The World Cup's here. The Gold Cup's here. The Nations League is here. The Copa America's here. Now La Liga games are here. What the fuck am I supposed to choose?
Welcome to my world,
on
bro.
top of having Premier League, on top of having Premier League summer tours, and what the hell am I supposed? How am I supposed to be loyal to any club? How am I supposed to be loyal to any product, any player, when I'm getting bombarded constantly? How that doesn't grow the sport the right way.
Yeah, you're good. I think, like, I agree with everything Jack said. I think there's when it seems it's like saturation and like just how much there's to pay attention to, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This summer could have been like the pinnacle of that. I really feel like there was a point where Club World Cup was on, MLS games were being played, Leagues Cup had started, Liga MX had kicked off. There's a massive Mexican American fan base here. And then you have just exhibitions being played. The Prem was here playing, preseason matches. And bro, it felt like there was just too much to pay attention to. It's like, where do I go? Even if I'm staying loyal to my clubs, I didn't know where to put my eyes.
Even from a just consumption standpoint, right? Like, I had to download a DAZN app and make an app or a login for something that I'm never going to use again in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's just so many options, but at the same time, it gets too saturated. There's too many options.
Yeah.
Now, if you bring the Real Barcelona here and everybody's like talking about it, and you have Apple TV and you watch, the MLS, and you have Peacock because you like the Prem, but you want to watch the game. Now you have to get ESPN Plus to watch it. So it's like,
I mean, that saturation too is also a different conversation.
Barrier of
but
entry.
Like, but I think but think about the path of the fan, right? And I don't think they think about this. I think truly,
absolutely, they don't.
The bodies out there, the powers that be, just simply say more is better, more is good. Let's just give them as much as possible, because in today's day and age, you can't get enough of everything. And it's like true. But if we don't have right now, the North American fan base is split between casuals and diehards. There is no in between. So when you think about the path to deepening fandom and getting these fans to pay attention beyond the World Cup, it becomes more about how do we scale that up. And I don't think shoving more content down their throat is the way to do it. In fact, I think it's like, how do we meaningfully structure, how we make them aware of what all is out there beyond America? What do the different leagues mean when they come together in these European competitions? What does that mean for legacy and whatnot? Like, there's a path to scalably building up this fan base that doesn't require shoving everything down their throat. I don't think that they actually think about what that process looks like. And I don't think, and again, it's not even just abroad. I do think here in the States, they don't think about that either. I think it's quite literally like, they need to find a way to make more money and be sustainable. And so it's just a matter of like, can we make the All-Star game more flashy? Can we, for MLS, right? Can we find a way to just do things cooler in a way that USL can't? Can we find a way to work with some of the powers abroad and like bring some really cool matches here that don't interfere with like our own schedule and stuff like that? And again, I think it's just so much that there isn't a person out there who's jumping into the sport today and thinking, yeah, I'm going to keep up with all of this. There's
Right.
no way in hell that's happening. It's quite literally the opposite. This is so much. I'm just gonna go back to watching
It
basketball. Bro.
deters you.
It's one
Yeah.
league. It's the NBA. I'm good. NFL.
Simple.
I watch football. I'm good. There's nothing else to worry about. And so I
It's
don't know, man.
it's optimizing for money and Instagram views instead of growing fans.
Yes.
None of this grows fans. It's almost, not almost, I feel embarrassed how much twerking there is for American footy fans, who, by the way, from a cultural standpoint, soccer is firmly third in the United States, firmly behind basketball, and it is so far behind the NFL, it's not even in the chat. It has not even entered the discussion. So all of this twerking is being done for somebody who might not even want you.
Yep.
Like the American fan, the American population is huge, but the population of American football fans is undetermined.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's assuming that it's this massive, it could be this monolith, like, God, if you capture the American fan, I mean, you'll make so much money. We don't even know. Everybody's gambling and assuming that Mexico is going to become, or that the United States is going to become like Mexico and be crazed about these club teams while there's a domestic league in the country that you have to bypass. I mean, nobody knows it more than y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who are like, why would I? Okay, cool. Villarreal's here. So I'm going to go to this Villarreal game. And then as soon as this is over, I'm back to being an Inter Miami fan, or I'm back to being an Orlando FC fan. I'm not going to switch in like, oh, well, they came to my state, so I'm going to be a Barca fan now. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Do you even want a fan like that? I want to ask you guys this. In terms of growing La Liga, because that's what this is about. It's about, well, that's what it's about ostensibly. What it's really about is money, but it's about making the league more attractive. If I'm somebody like Villarreal, what makes my club more attractive? Champions League football, making the quarterfinals of the Champions League, maybe winning a Copa del Rey, beating Real Madrid or something in the final, or a one-off game in Florida.
It's a no-brainer, dude.
Easy.
Yeah.
And I don't think they asked themselves that question. I really don't. I think if they did, in my mind, I don't know if you guys have thought about this a lot, but we're so invested in La Liga on the show. I think about often how we can actually grow fans here, right? Outside of what we talk about, because what we talk about is still pretty in-depth. I would say for the person who's just maybe heard of La Liga, turns on Lengua de La Liga, and like wants to learn more, it might be even that too much, right? So I think that the path to like building fans around this league and growing it abroad outside of Spain is, honestly, I think it's players, individual players, right? Finding a way to attach yourself to someone you like watching play on the field that plays in La Liga. And then you start
players
kind of seeing
and content,
them more.
I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
We've talked
for
about
sure.
this.
Yeah, for sure. But I do believe like sometimes it's like, I don't think that anybody could just pick up and like follow a team. This is why I think this whole plan around playing a game abroad is flawed as hell. It's like, I'm not going to see the yellow submarine, right? The yellow team and just like, yep, I'm in. That's fucking my team. They gave Barca a good game. That's my team now. I think it's quite literally, look, man, I watched Ayosi Perez bag a brace against Barca. I'm going to start watching that dude. I know he's like 31, 32, but I'm going to start watching that dude to see what he does. And then you start watching more games like, holy shit, this guy's a baller. And then you start watching more and more, and then you start finding other pieces of the puzzle that make sense for you as a fan. Like, dude, I like the way they play. I like the way they set up. And then when the big games come, you're so invested. That passion kind of just carries you throughout the rest of the season, and it turns into you following and paying attention in future seasons. I don't know why the leagues don't think about that. Like, how do they boost the profile of their players? How they find their way to have their players have a brand that extends across the globe, as opposed to forcing fans to make stupid or tough decisions, right? Around whether or not they should buy tickets for the whole season because the biggest game of the year is not going to be played here. I don't know, man. To me, it's a slippery slope, and there's a completely different way to go about it.
I mean, we've seen it with like Tyler Adams at Bournemouth, or even like Aronson at Leeds. I'm a Leeds fan, and it's very obscure. It's a very hipster take. Like, I have never met a Leeds fan in the wild. After the Americans were there the last couple of seasons, all of a sudden you start seeing, little people posted on their Instagram and emojis being dropped. I'm like, now you guys are Leeds fans? Interesting. Name a single player from the Champions League semi against Valencia in 2001. Okay, but that's
either way, though, man,
that's the way to do it.
Not seeing a Leeds fan in the wild is kind of a
give
crazy
them time.
show.
Give them time. They're gonna learn.
I hope so, dude.
They're gonna learn. It takes. You got to learn the history. That takes time, dude.
Yeah.
Look at Spurs. The reason that the country of South Korea roots for Tottenham is because of Son.
Yep.
They didn't have to play a fucking friendly in Seoul. That's not how they captured the Korean market. This stuff is not that complicated. And I'm
And it's been done.
stunned how horrible and inept some of the marketing and the management is done in La Liga. And I actually think Villarreal, compared to the rest of the league, is run incredibly well. They're from a super tiny location. They've won Europa Leagues. They're in the Champions League again. They've made Champions League semifinals. This is a well-run club, and even they seem to be struggling with how to actually go about this at least with the American market. And that's why I think they don't understand the American market. They just want to throw games at it, and they think they're going to capture people. I don't know. Like, you need to get people to buy into the stories. There should be 15 YouTube channels and shows like this one.
Yeah.
There's not.
I agree. But I think also too, going back to what you said about like ownership and how well run the club is, I agree. And I think that this is a scenario where this is probably the first time they're coming to a situation where they don't know how to approach it. And I think when you don't know how to do that, you rely upon whoever's consulting you or consulting the league, whoever the partners are abroad. And again, we see the same thing here with like development of players here in the States, right? It's a big issue, pay to play, all of that stuff. I think it's because it's the same problem, or symptom of a bigger problem. I think it's like the same scenario. Parents don't know how to develop their kids, so they just follow the same blueprint that every other kid in America is doing, which is like, let me hire a $50 to $100 an hour personal trainer who's gonna like bring up my kid. I'll pay thousands of dollars a year for club soccer, and like that'll be that. It's a similar model. I just don't think they know how to approach new fans in America. So it's like, hey, they got this cool idea for us to play a competitive match overseas, build our brand over there. It sounds pretty good on paper. Let's just do it. And I would just question the logic and the thinking, man. Like, just really sit down and try to like brain dump every possible way that you can acquire fans, not just in the States, but I would say abroad as a whole, and see if there are alternatives here that just make more sense. Not even just from a sporting perspective, but economically as well, because this can't be cheap. It really can't. Like, there's got to be a better way to go about this.
And again, it's not just a single game happening next season or whatever, whenever it's going to take place. It's the precedent that it sets as a long-term commitment to the American fan by La Liga to say, hey, you guys are priority. Like, we're prioritizing you over our own home fans that have season tickets, that have been here historically, that, will go through ups and downs with the club, that will travel away to a tough match at Mallorca for, a cup semifinal, whatever it might be. Now you're saying, screw them. We're going to go to the United States because we make more money, and at what expense, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
The damage done by the salary cap rules is hurting La Liga so much compared to the unchecked spending of Saudi Arabia, but also the Premier League. And so if you want to make La Liga look more attractive, especially to the American audience, you have to introduce parity. And I kind of think the Barcelona versus Real Madrid, Messi versus Ronaldo storyline, there's an argument that it kind of did irreversible damage to La Liga as an institution, because it's never going to be able to reach that height again. And it overshadowed everything the rest of the league did. Sevilla were winning 3 Europa League titles in that time. No one gives a shit.
Nobody knows. Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody knows or cares. People think that Unai Emery's a terrible manager. Like,
that's wild to me. That's wild to me. But yeah. His track record of Europe is it puts almost like 90% of managers currently active today to shame, and yet nobody gives him those flowers. It's wild.
Yeah. Speaking of Villarreal, he won it with Villarreal as well.
Yep.
Against Manchester United. That earned my respect. That was 5 years ago now at this point. I've always had mad respect for Villarreal.
And yet we had Prem fans trying to compare Arteta to Unai Emery. I think it was just a wild comparison. To me, you can't even put them in the same realm because of, again, right, just the fact that one has trophies and the other one really doesn't have meaningful ones. So I don't know. There's so much about La Liga that doesn't get the flowers it deserves. I agree with that. So for that reason, you just have to really approach this idea of expanding the brand of the league carefully. It can't be as simple as, bro, let's just go ahead and run a game. Fuck it. Like, it'll cost some money. It'll piss off our fans, but there's all these high spenders overseas that are just waiting to be introduced to our brand. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So I don't know, man. This feels so rushed and so forced. I hope someone at UEFA has a brain that they can apply to this whole situation and say, hey, I'm doing you guys a favor. We're rejecting this shit. Okay, you're welcome.
Hold your horses.
Yeah. You're going to destroy your own league. Let me stop you now.
Yeah, exactly.
You go down this path. Yeah, 100% agree. I feel like the real solution here is that if La Liga partnered with us and gave us like a $20 million annual budget to make content about the league, I think the ROI would be better than this game. I'm just
Might not be enough. Might need a little bit more than that. But I think, at the end of the day, they need more. Yes, I agree, bro. I'm telling you, man, I really feel adamantly that this show can help put La Liga on the map within North America, 1000%. And we're going to bust our ass to make sure it does. But yes, you need more creators paying attention to this. They need more content spinning out around this. It could be anything at this point. Like we're so early that it could quite literally be fucking anything. It could be random tier lists. It could be, creators just like simply just turning on a mic and a cam and talking BS about their favorite players, whatever it may be. Guys, literally put anything out there because right now, La Liga feels like they need to take drastic measures to capture the attention of American fans. I'm here to tell you they don't. There's a better way to go about this.
Yeah. Yeah, there just has to be more of an even spread of coverage as well. It cannot just be the big three forever. I think the Prem does that so well in terms of not just having the big six, but, like Bournemouth making great signings and being very, I would say, very efficient in the players that they have. You look at Brentford and the whole Moneyball thing. We'll see what happens now that Thomas Frank is gone. Brighton being like these god tier scouts who now everybody loves, and they're making all these great signings, and they sell them for $100 million 2 years later. La Liga needs more of that. And I feel like even despite not having that, there are still so many good stories about the league that don't ever get spoken about. Just because, especially not in English, which if you want to grow the brand, man, you have to have it in English.
The only way to do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, you let us know your thoughts on the situation. Is this a huge deal if this game goes down? It still might be rejected. This may never happen, but I still think it's important to talk about. We'll be covering La Liga regardless for the entire season. So if you guys don't want to miss all that stuff, make sure you stick around, hit subscribe. We'll be doing live streams. Maybe we'll go live for this Villarreal Barcelona game. God willing, it's not in Miami. Or that's going to be like the entire thing we talk about. This is a great game. If only it wasn't in Florida. So yeah,
there's one yellow jersey in the stand. Cool.
There's not going to be any Villarreal fans. Oh my gosh.
Only the wags and the parents are going to come over. That's just as a holiday trip to Miami.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we'll have the Villarreal fans show up for the watch along. They'll follow in with La Liga. They'll stay locked in from the American perspective. Bro, we're in. Either way, it could be a W, but I hope to God they change their mind.
We need a Villarreal guy, too, to jump on the panel every once in a while.
100%.
So if y'all know somebody, nominate them down below. Let us know down below in the comments. Smash the like button. We'll see you guys in the next one.